IngBreaking.com. Lesson 2. What kind of music do you like? Present tense. Questions and answers. Ava is having a conversation with Jacob. Is Ava having a conversation with Peter?
No. Ava is having a conversation with
No,
Jacob.
she isn't having a conversation with Peter. Ava is having a conversation with Jacob. Who is Ava having a conversation with?
Jacob. Ava is having a conversation with Jacob.
Ava is having a conversation with Jacob. She's having a conversation with Jacob. What is Ava doing with Jacob?
A conversation. She is having a conversation with Jacob.
A conversation. Ava is having a conversation with Jacob. She wants to know what kind of music he likes. What does Ava want to know from Jacob?
She wants to know what kinds of music he likes.
What kind of music Jacob likes? Ava wants to know what kind of music he likes. She wants to know what kind of music he likes. Who wants to know what kind of music Jacob likes?
Ava. Ava wants to know what kinds of music he likes.
Ava wants to know what kind of music Jacob likes. Does she want to know what kind of music Jacob dislikes?
No, she doesn't. She wants to know what kinds of music
she doesn't want to know what kind of
likes.
music he dislikes, he hates. She wants to know what kind of music he likes. So she asks him about his favorite kind of music. Does she ask him about his favorite kind of music?
Yes, she does. She asks him about his favorite
Yes, she asks him
kind
about his
of music.
favorite kind of music. Ava asks him about his favorite kind of music. Does Ava ignore Jacob's favorite kind of music?
No, she doesn't. She asks him about his
No, she doesn't ignore his favorite kind of music.
kind.
Ava asks him
likes.
about his favorite kind of music. What does Ava ask Jacob about?
His favorite kinds of music.
His favorite kind of music. Ava asks Jacob about his favorite kind of music. Jacob says he likes all kinds of music, but he mostly likes pop, rock, and classical. What kind of music does Jacob say he likes?
He likes all kinds of music, but he mostly likes
Jacob
pop,
says he
rock,
likes
and
all
classical.
kinds of music, but he mostly likes pop, rock, and classical. Does Jacob mostly like opera and country and western music?
No, he likes all kinds of music.
No,
but
Jacob says he likes
he
all
mostly
kinds of
likes
music,
pop,
but he mostly
rock,
likes pop,
and
rock,
classical.
and classical. Does Jacob tell Ava what kind of music he hates?
No, he doesn't. He tells
No, Jacob says he likes all kinds of
Ava,
music, but he
he
mostly likes
all
pop,
kinds of
rock,
music,
and
but
classical.
He mostly likes pop, rock, and classical.
Ava has tickets to a show. What kind of tickets does Ava have?
Ava has tickets to a show.
Tickets to a show. Ava has tickets to a show and invites Jacob to go with her to the show. Does Ava invite Jeremy to the movies?
No, she invites Jacob to go with her to a show.
No, Ava has tickets to a show and invites Jacob to go with her to the show. Does Ava have tickets?
Yes, Ava has tickets to a show.
Yes, Ava has tickets to a show and invites Jacob to go with her to the show. She invites Jacob to go with her to the show. Who invites Jacob to go with her to the show?
Ava. She invites Jacob to go with her to a show.
Ava
Music
invites
show.
Jacob to go with her to the show. Ava invites him to go to the show with her. Where does Ava invite Jacob to go?
The show. She invites Jacob to go with her to
The show. She invites Jacob to go to the show with her. Does she invite Mark to go to the show with her?
No, she doesn't invite Mark to go with her to a show. She invites Jacob to go
No,
with
she doesn't
her to a
invite Mark.
show.
She invites Jacob to go to the show with her. Jacob asks what kind of music the show has. What does Jacob ask?
Jacob asks what kinds of music the show has.
What kind of music the show has? Jacob asks what kind of music the show has. Does Jacob ask what kind of music the show has?
Yes, Jacob asks what kind
Yes,
of music
Jacob
the show
asks
has.
what kind of music the show has. He asks what kind of music the show has. Does he ask what kind of food the show has?
No, he doesn't. He asks what kind of music, what kind of
No, he doesn't ask
Music.
what kind of food the show has. He asks
Music.
what kind of music
the show
has.
has.
Ava tells him it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park. Does Ava tell Jacob the kind of music and location?
Yes, Ava tells him it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park.
Yes, Ava tells him it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park. Who tells Jacob it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park?
Ava tells Jacob it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park.
Ava tells him it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park. Does Ava tell Jacob the show is in Jackson Park?
No, she tells him it's rock and it's in
No,
Lincoln Park.
it isn't in Jackson Park. The show isn't in Jackson Park. Ava tells him it's rock and it's in Lincoln Park. Jacob asks what time the show takes place. What does Jacob ask about the show?
Jacob asks what time the show takes place.
Jacob asks what time the show takes place. He asks what time the show takes place. Does Jacob ask who is performing at the show?
No, he doesn't. He asks what time the show takes place.
No, Jacob doesn't ask who is performing at the show. Jacob asks what time the show takes place. Does Jacob ask where the show takes place?
Yes, Jacob asks.
No, he doesn't ask where the show takes place. Jacob asks what time the show takes place.
What time the show takes place.
Ava tells him it's at 7 p.m. When does Ava tell Jacob the show starts?
Ava tells him it's at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. Ava tells him it's at 7 p.m. Ava tells him the show starts at 7 p.m. Does Jacob tell Ava the show starts at 7 p.m.?
No. Ava tells him.
No, Jacob
It's
doesn't
at
tell
7
Ava
p.m.
that the show starts at 7 p.m. Ava tells Jacob the show starts at 7 p.m. Who does Ava tell it's at 7 p.m.?
Jacob. Ava tells Jacob it's at 7 p.m.
Jacob. Ava tells Jacob it's at 7 p.m. Is the show at 7 p.m.?
Yes, it's at 7 p.m.
Yes, Ava tells him it's at 7 p.m. Jacob says he would like to go. How does Jacob answer to Ava?
He says he would like to go.
Jacob says he'd like to go and suggests that they have dinner first. He says he'd like to go and suggests they have dinner first. Does Jacob say he would like to stay?
No, he doesn't. He says he would like to go to a show.
No,
and
Jacob doesn't say he would like to
suggests they
stay.
have
He says he
dinner
would
first.
like to go. Where would Jacob like to go?
To the show. Jacob would like
The show.
to go to the show.
Jacob would like to go to the show. He would like to go to the music show.
To the music show.
Who says he'd like to go?
Jacob. Jacob says he would like to go to a show. Music show.
Jacob. Jacob says he would like to go. He says he would like to go. He suggests they have dinner first. What does Jacob suggest?
He suggests they have dinner first.
He suggests they have dinner first. Jacob suggests they have dinner first. Does he suggest they would have dinner later?
No, he doesn't. He suggests they have dinner first.
No, he doesn't suggest they have dinner later. He suggests they have dinner first. What does Jacob suggest they would do?
Jacob suggests they have dinner first.
They have dinner first. Jacob suggests they have dinner first. Ava thinks that is a good idea. What does Ava think?
Ava thinks that's a good idea.
Dinner is a good idea. Ava thinks that it is a good idea. Does Ava think dinner is a bad idea?
No, she isn't. She doesn't. Ava thinks that's a
No,
good idea.
Ava doesn't think dinner is a bad idea. Ava thinks that it is a good idea. What does Ava tell Jacob about having dinner?
She tells
Ava thinks that is a good
Thinks-
idea. Ava tells Jacob that
Ava
it is a
thinks
good
that's
idea.
A good idea.
Jacob suggests they eat at the restaurant across the street from his apartment. What does Jacob suggest to Ava?
Jacob suggests they eat at the restaurant across the
Jacob
street
suggests
from
they
his
eat at the
apartment.
restaurant across the street from his apartment. He suggests they eat at the restaurant across the street from his apartment. Does Jacob suggest they have dinner at the Hilton Hotel?
No, he doesn't. He suggests they eat
No,
At the
Jacob doesn't
restaurant
suggest they have dinner at the
across the
Hilton
street from
Hotel.
his
He
apartment.
suggests they eat at the restaurant across the street from his apartment. Where does Jacob suggest they have dinner?
at the restaurant across the street from his apartment.
Jacob suggests they eat at the restaurant across the street from his apartment. Ava likes the idea and thinks she knows where the restaurant is. Does Ava want to have dinner with Jacob?
Yes, Ava thinks that's a good idea and
Yes,
She
Ava likes the idea
think
and thinks she knows where the restaurant is. Does Ava know where the restaurant is?
Yes, Ava thinks
Yes,
she knows where
she
the
thinks
restaurant
she knows where
is.
the restaurant is. Ava thinks she knows where the restaurant is. Does Ava know the restaurant's location?
Yes, Ava thinks she knows where the restaurant is.
Yes, she thinks she knows where the restaurant is. Jacob tells her she's right about the restaurant's location. What does Jacob tell Ava about the directions?
He tells her she's right about the restaurant location.
Jacob tells her she's right about the restaurant's location. Does Jacob tell her she's wrong about the restaurant's location?
No, he doesn't. He tells her,
No,
Ava, she's
Jacob doesn't
right
tell her she's
about the
wrong about a
restaurant's
restaurant's location. He tells her that she's right about the restaurant's location. Who tells Ava she's right about the restaurant's location?
Jacob. He tells Ava she's right about the restaurant location.
Jacob tells her she's right about the restaurant's location. He tells her that she's right about the restaurant's location. Breaking.